So today we're going to be showing you a couple different concepts that you can use down in the red zone or really any area of the field that you want just to give you a little bit more success, make it a little bit easier to read coverages. And the really nice thing about everything I'm going to show you today is you don't need to have any specific playbook, not even necessarily a specific formation. All you got to have is just the right amount of receivers on the side of the ball. You can even use your running back in these concepts as well if you'd like. So we'll jump into it, show you some of these things, man, help you guys out a little bit here. So this first concept, we call this chair 7. So for this one, you just need to have 3 receivers on one side. So in this case, I'm in an empty formation. Again, it doesn't matter what formation you're in, what play you even pick, because all you're going to do is adjust the routes. But so in this case, all you want to do is you want to put the number 1 receiver, which is going to be the furthest to our right over there. You're going to go ahead and put him on a 5-yard in, otherwise known as a drive route. You're going to do the same thing with R1, the 2 receiver, and then with 3, you're just going to put him on a corner. He already is in a corner in this case, but all this is chair 7. This is really good against man coverage. The corner route is typically going to be wide open, as you see right there. We get he doesn't catch the ball, but he was wide open. This is a really good concept against man coverage, so like a cover 1 concept, cover 0 concept. You can beat those with this specific route combination. We're going to show it against all different coverages here today, but this is going to be the best one to run it against, obviously, just because you're going to get that one-on-one with your 3 receiver and the linebacker in this case. But really this is nice in the red zone because with the corner out where he breaks and kind of when you throw that ball, he's going to catch it right around that end zone mark. So he really should just be able to walk into the end zone just like that. But we'll show you how this looks in a couple different coverages and then what guys you're going to want to throw to when you get those different coverages. So this is the same concept at chair 7. Again, it's a corner route from 3, a drive route from 2, and then a drive route from 1. So in this case, they're going to be in Tampa 2. So really the easiest way to see Tampa 2, in my opinion, is to just watch the middle linebacker. So in this case, it's kind of that guy that's directly over X, otherwise the 3 receiver. So all he's going to do is kind of drop to the middle of the field and really get some depth. And then you're going to see those 2 safeties play that deep half. And in this case, with this combination, so when we got man, we threw to X. In this case, we're not going to actually want to throw to X because that safety is going to be sitting right there. So in this case, you're going to want to throw to either R1 or circle, otherwise the 1 and 2 receiver. But in Tampa 2 like this, if you do end up throwing to that corner out, you're going to see that safety is going to actually just kind of be sitting right there to make the play. So you do not want to throw into that area. You can, but it's probably going to get picked or swatted down like it just did there. But in Tampa here, that's going to be your best read. Again, you're going to want to throw to that number 2 receiver, R1, or you're going to want to throw to the guy that's running right behind him, circle, otherwise the 1 receiver. And the reason you like these double drive routes are so nice is because if one of them's not open, then the other one will be. But we'll get into cover 3 next, show you guys how that looks in that coverage, and show you what the correct read is there. So in this case, the defense is in cover 4. Easy way to see this is if you see both corners bail out of there right away and then both safeties are kind of staying put back there. That's an easy way to see that it is in fact cover 4. So with the chair 7 concept, you're going to want to hit the drive routes on these. Everybody's just kind of vacating the lower part of the field. It's going to leave it wide open to some of those underneath routes. So again, you can hit either drive route that you want. You don't have to throw it to a specific guy. Both of them will be open. Really, you can throw it to the guy, the second guy, if you want to have that extra blocker. Obviously, you just dropped it there, but you saw the lead receiver there actually will go ahead and block for you. So if you want to throw it to that second guy, that's what you can go ahead and do. You can get that extra blocker in front of you. But this is just a nice little concept that I like to run down in this area because it's really easy to kind of – a lot of people are going to run Tampa 2 down here or cover 4. They're not really going to run a lot of man coverage down here. If they do, you should be able to just hit that corner out and have an easy touchdown. But most likely you're going to end up seeing Tampa down here. So, again, when you see kind of that zone type of coverage, those 2 drive routes are going to be wide open, and this is something that can really help you in – really any situation on the field, but the red zone is the best area, obviously, because you can hit that corner out, get that easy touchdown. But like a 3rd and short opportunity, this would be great because those drive routes should be open. But that's the chair 7 concept. We'll go ahead and get into the next one for you guys here. So this next concept is just called snag. So if you look to the bottom left-hand part of your screen, that Z spot play, that's actually what snag exactly is. You're just going to have a corner out from 2, kind of that little crossing sit route at 5 yards from 1, and then 3 is just going to run directly to the flat. So just for the sake of the video, we'll show you guys how to do it out of a different formation just to show that you can get something similar. Not going to be the exact same because you actually cannot get that kind of that stem that we like from number 1 crossing and then sitting down, but we'll show you that you can kind of get something similar out of a different look. So in this case, we have the defense in man coverage. So again, like we talked about with chair 7, the corner out is going to be your best bet if it's any type of like man coverage. So cover 1 or cover 0 should work just fine. But here we're just kind of in that pro doubles look. So we have a tight end off to the, or excuse me, not pro doubles, but something similar to that, right? So we have 2 receivers off to the right-hand side. We have a wing and a true receiver to the right, and then to the left, just 2 receivers, and then we have our back set to those 2 receivers as well. So again, with this, you do need to have 3 total receivers to run this. Again, we cannot get the exact snag concept out of this, but we can get something that kind of creates the same idea, which is really all we're looking for. So what you're going to want to do is put 2 on a corner. You're going to want to put your running back, or if you have, your 3 receiver, just put him right to the flat. And then with the 1 receiver, you cannot get him to kind of cross and then sit down. So what you're going to want to do is either just put him on like a hitch, or you could put him on a curl like this, and then you can actually adjust the stem and make it shorter like that. But for this case, I really do like to put him on an in or a slant, especially with this being man. You kind of like having that crossing action. But like, again, with this being man, you're going to want to go ahead and hit that corner out. We drop it there, but you're going to give yourself an opportunity with a one-on-one with the corner out, which is always a good thing. But we'll show you how this looks in some zone stuff here. So with this being zone, this is actually Tampa 2. Again, with Tampa 2, easiest way to see it, just watch the middle linebacker. He's going to vacate that middle part of the field, kind of where he's at the 5. And you're going to see him drop about 12 yards back and kind of play that middle of the field area. This is just Tampa 2. Again, with this, with snag, you want to have a corner out, some type of a speed out or a flat route, and ideally with 1, you want him to sit down at 5 yards and cross the corner, but we cannot get that specific route, but that's just fine. So with zone in this, exactly the same way as chair 7 work, we're not going to want to throw it to that corner out because it's going to be covered by the safety. So in this case, with it being zone, you can either just throw it to the crossing route from 1, which is just a drive route there, or you can just throw it to your running back. So again, with this, you can use it out of any formation as long as you have 3 guys on one side. That's just fine. In this case, we're using our running back as a part of the route combination, which is just fine. Again, with this, I do like putting the slant route in there just because he gets a little more depth and you can kind of chunk some more yards out of that. But like, you could either throw it there to the running back, or you can just go ahead and nice play by the running back, get a couple extra yards, or you could throw it to that slant route. Either one will be wide open. It's going to kind of look the same way in cover 3, but we'll show you what that looks like as well. So this is a little bit of a different style of cover 3 than we talked about earlier. So this is actually a cloud cover 3. So all that means, so with sky, like we talked about, both corners will bail out of there and one of the safeties will spin down. Well, with cloud, it's still cover 3, but all you're going to see is you're going to see that corner to the left-hand side that's in front of the square receiver. He's going to bail to the deep third. You're going to see that safety that's a little bit off to the right of him, right on that 10-yard hash, the left hash. He's going to kind of rotate over to the middle of the field and play the middle third. And then that safety to the right-hand side that's at the right hash at the 10-yard line, he's going to kind of slide over to the right a little bit and play that deep third over there. And then the corner is just going to kind of play the flat over there. So with snag, again, a zone concept here. You're not going to want to throw it to that corner route because it's not going to be there. But again, you can just find that slant route or that in route, and it should be wide open. You might want to, in Tampa 2, you kind of have to get rid of it a little bit quicker because the middle linebacker is going to work with some depth. But with this case, you actually want to let that route develop a little bit longer. So like here, you want to kind of let the receiver get working, and then throw it. Obviously, we drop it there, but you want to kind of find the little pockets in the zone. So like in cover 3 here, that's the best thing to do with that. But again, If you don't want to throw the slant route, if you're not a big fan of throwing it kind of over the middle of the field, that flat route will be right there as well. So we'll go ahead and show you that. So again, that corner route, you're going to see that backer there. He's going to collision the corner route, and that's going to buy us just a little bit of time to go ahead and throw it to the flats to our running back in this case. But again, like with this, this is stuff you can use when it's 3rd and short, not necessarily just the red zone. A lot of like red zone concepts are really good with 3rd and short as well. So again, you see him collision there, dump it off to the running back, pick up 5 yards. So the basic idea of kind of these first 2 concepts I've showed you is that, it's really good for just picking up quick yardage if you want to move down the field quickly, or if you're in the red zone and you're maybe scared to take some shots. Really good stuff here just to go ahead and get rid of the ball quickly. You don't have to think too much. Just throw it to your running back, any skill guy, get an open space, make a guy miss, and pick up some extra yards. So we'll get into this next concept here. So this next one, you can't exactly get kind of the look you want that you would see in real life, but this is called sucker. So this is a cover 1 look. With this, actually, it's not necessarily a red zone thing that you might want to run, but this is just something I figured I'd throw in for the video, for the sake of the video. So you could put them on you want to put your 3 receiver. Again, you can't really get the exact you could just put them on a streak if you want. That's not, ideally you want to kind of have them bended in the middle of the field a little bit. So even doing a post is just fine. Again, this is not going to be down to the exact sucker concept that we want, but it's close enough, which is just fine. So you'll put 3, that wing tight end, I just put him on a post. You can also put him on a deep cross if you want. I think either way is just fine. We'll just keep him on a deep cross just for this. But then with R1, our 2 receiver, we'll just put him on a zig. Ideally, you want to have him on a whip route, but this is close enough. It's just fine. And then with the 1 receiver, you're just going to want to go ahead and put him on a deep dig. So in this case, it is cover 1. So you're going to kind of see that rotation there. Boom, we'll hit him. He's wide open. He's got that one-on-one with the safety behind him, so he should be able to just sneak just underneath him. You could also throw it to that little whip route or that zig route they call it in this game if you want. Either one is just fine. But really in man coverage, you can't go wrong here. You're going to have some one-on-ones everywhere, so that's just fine. But here's what it's going to look like against throwing it to the whip route there. We get a nice pickup. But we'll go ahead and show you how this looks in zone coverage. We'll start out with Tampa 2 and then get into some cover 3 stuff. So again, this thing is not an exact science. You can kind of tinker around with the routes if you want. With X here, our 3 receiver, that wing, you could do a post, you could do a straight streak route, you could do that kind of that Y crossing route if you'd like. You really just need anything to kind of work over the middle of the field. And in this case, they are in Tampa 2, so that Mike linebacker is going to work with some depth straight back. So with this, you could hit X right away if you want. Like here, you could just throw it to him right away, and he'll be wide open because the mic will be gone. But with this, you could also throw it to that whip route if you want. You really don't want to throw it to the 1 receiver when they're in Tampa. It's just going to take too long to develop, in my opinion. But either the whip route or kind of that crossing route from 3, that post or whatever you want to run out of it, a straight streak, anything like that. But like the zig route will be there just like that. He's wide open. But this is kind of going to be the same idea in cover 3. We'll show you what that looks like as well. So this is the same look, that sucker-ish look. It's not the exact same thing. This is against cover 3. So you want that zig route from 2, kind of that crossing route from your 3, which is the wing. And then with our 1 receiver, just put him on a dig route. So with this being cover 3, you're not really going to want to throw it to any of those deeper routes, especially not your tight end. That's going to kind of get taken up pretty quickly. But with this, you can throw it right to that whip route right away. You're going to see that that corner is going to kind of latch onto that dig for just a second. And then right when he does that, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and get rid of the ball and throw it to that zig, that whip route, whatever you want to call it. It's going to buy you just enough time to get that ball to that 2 receiver. Just like that right there. You're just going to wait just enough time, and they should be wide open. But again, with all these concepts, it's really just about picking the right guy to throw to and reading the coverage. So again, we'll go through the basics here with cover 1. You could see that, either safety's going to latch on to somebody, the other one's going to play deep. Cover 0, everybody's going to be manned up. Expect some pressure with that. Tampa 2, just look for that Mike linebacker. You should see him kind of run into that deep middle, not deep middle of the field, but 10 to 12-ish yards. You'll see him vacate the middle of the field. Cover 3, you're going to get a couple looks there. You might see sky, which is going to be both corners will bail. One of the two safeties will spin down, and the other one's going to kind of hang out in center field. And then cloud, same idea as, not same idea as sky, but it's going to give you the same thing, really. One of the corners will bail. The other one's going to sit in that flat, and then both of the safeties will rotate into which direction depending on which corner bails. And then cover 4, pretty easy to see that one, in my opinion. You'll just see both corners bail out of there, and then both safeties are going to kind of, hang out back there as well. But, again, with all these, you really just got to find which guy's open. Just start practicing these routes in practice mode. Reading coverages is big with this. But, again, these are all really good concepts you can use at any portion of the field. Doesn't necessarily need to be in the red zone. It just gives you a little bit of a better chance of succeeding down here.